Alright everybody, this is GL1. I have to do this right now while this song is on the radio playing out of this vehicle. Alright, so let me tell you what's going on here. Okay, so this vehicle here is radio controlled and is our new vehicle for zooming in with the camera. And what I've done here is I've mounted my phone holder to the car. All right, and this is a Bratz radio-controlled car from 10 years ago. And I purchased this car at a Goodwill for $5. And I've seen it for at least $100 to order this. And it is an interesting vehicle. It is not a Mercedes, though it looks like a Mercedes. It has sort of a fake Mercedes-looking logo on it, but it's really not the Mercedes logo. All right, and even the wheels are kind of Mercedes-like. And then it says Bratz. And it has doors that open. And you can pull those open. And then they kind of snap in shut. It has two sets of batteries. It has the batteries here in the back that drive the vehicle. And it has a trunk. It has a button here that you can push. And that pops open. That's where the on-off button is for the vehicle. And it has a working dashboard. It has a radio button. It has a tuning button. Actually, this is the tuning button. This is the reset button. Now, it's an FM radio and it only goes in one direction. So when you hit the reset button here, it'll start at like 8700 and then, or 87 actually, and then you just keep pushing the button and it'll go up the dial and then, you know, hit different stations. It also has lights, and you push this button in and it has lights that you can turn on and off on the back and on the front. And it's just really something. Oh, and one of the most exciting things to me is that it actually has working seat belts. So it has seat belts in here that click in. As you can see, they actually have like a little clicker. And the seat belt itself, just caught in the door, all right, has a spring on it, like a real seat belt. So it pulls out and then it springs back in to get tension on the action figure. Now the figures that I have here are not Bratz figures. They are Monster High. And this one is Claudine Wolf. And I've did a little customization. I painted her lips purple and I painted her fingernails. And I did try to color her hair. I put like some purple paint in it. I don't think it's really obvious at all. So that was an effort. And the other one is Gulia Yelps. And Gulia Yelps, I got secondhand. I didn't know who she was. I'm just like, oh, she looks interesting. She's very different than all the other Bratz styles. In fact, the Bratz styles themselves have, I believe it's 7 different faces. And you can see that actually the molds are different, the shape of their faces. So it's not simply a matter of, you know, let's just change the color and the makeup, but they actually have different cheekbones, different roundness, eyes, and if you ever look at Bratz styles, you'll see that they all vary like that, and they also even vary in height at times. So this is going to be our zooming in and camera vehicle. So I was thinking, you know, one of the problems I have is how to zoom in with my phone, which does such a great job. The camera is so good, and I'm not happy with the other camera, which right now you can see I have hooked up to this TV over here, and we have exciting things on the way. Um, but so I was thinking, I need to do something about the zooming with this, and I thought, why not go mechanical, like kind of old school. I'm very much inclined to do things mechanically. I like older electronics and how things work. So I thought, if I actually physically have the camera move closer, that would be a solution. And how can I do that? So I thought, well, let me get a radio control car that's slow enough, and I'll have a ramp, and then I'll attach the camera to the car, and then when I want to zoom, I just move the car forward, and then that's going to be the maximum zoom level. And then if I go back, then that will show where I'm seated properly. So I'm going to pause this now, and I'm going to mount the phone to the car. All right, everyone, I am back, and I've mounted the camera to the car, and let me show you how that works. So just drive it forward, and we zoom in, and then go back, and we're zoomed out. So there we go, a mechanical solution. All right, so I do have some Bratz dolls. I have one in storage that's a whole like Bratz package of clothes and makeup or something like that. It's been in storage so long I don't really remember what's on it, but I got it when Toys R Us was going out of business, and it was quite marked down, and I'm like, maybe this is worth getting now. So there it went. But what I did buy is Bratz superhero dolls. So, the Bratz, I remember, were controversial for their look. And they tried different things, and one of them was superhero Bratz dolls. And here we are. And actually, this is this camera as well. And then you can kind of see them on this TV close up. But then you can see them here, and then this one here. And they have capes on them. And here's an opportunity to zoom in. So, bam. And all right, so you can see the cape, and she has a braid, and this one has some red tinges in her hair, no braid, and the feet turn around all the way around, and then she has multicolored hair. All right, their names. This is Chloe, all right, and in the green dress is Yasmin, and in purple is Shira, or Shira, but I think it's Shira. And the thing about Bratz is that they are like the old Barbies. Some of you may know, may remember, some of you don't, that the old Barbies had like a rubberized leg, and they had like a click joint. So the joints didn't move a lot, but they would click, right? And then they would stay in position. So the Bratz dolls have that. Their hips move all around. Their feet can turn, and they have fully articulated shoulders and elbows and wrists. And their heads turn, but they don't really look up or down. I don't know if there's other versions that do, but these don't. But I thought, these glasses actually don't go to Bratz, but, they fit on her. I think actually they're Monster High. And yeah, so anyway, so they all have the same features that way. And then this is what, Yasmin and Chloe. Now, the Bratz company is a Canadian company, and there was some controversy with them, with Mattel and the Barbie line, that the person, if I remember correctly, who created Bratz was working at Mattel at the time and came up with Bratz, and there were lawsuits going back and forth on, who owns them. And eventually Bratz got their own ownership, and I believe they even got a financial settlement out of it. But anyway, there are Bratz in the stores now. They're starting at $25 for a doll, and they come with a bunch of accessories. And so there's not a lot of them, though, that they were real popular at once. And just like the Monster High, that was very popular for about 3 or 4 years, and then the line really ended after about 7 years. So, that's things, they come and go. But the Barbie, even, as we had said in the Barbie show, Barbie had a really hard time. And then there was the fashionista line that rejuvenated Barbie, and not only because of the fashionista, but also because they started to do different sizes, heights and proportions on the dolls, and ethnicities, and that became made them much more popular. Our special guest today comes from the Lord of the Rings. It is Sauron here, or as probably they call him, Sourpuss Ron. But Sauron from Lord of the Rings, he is here with us today. He has the ring, or used to have the ring, to rule them all, to rule the world of Tolkien. There were many rings created, and he had the Master Ring. He tricked everyone and had the Master Ring to rule. And but that ring was, he was defeated. The ring was lost, and then it was found, and then the whole Lord of the Rings saga begins. So, Sauron, anything that you'd like to tell us today? Any feelings about what transpired during your battle for the control of Middle-earth? Losing the ring, building that tower, maybe getting the ring back, working with Saruman, all the goings on there. Anything that you'd like to tell us, please jump in at any time. Maybe if we zoom in a little bit, maybe you'll have a little something to say. But sometimes RC cars. There we go. All right. So touchy on-off switch on the back of this remote, actually. There we go. All right. Now feel free to open up. Okay. Well, looks like Sauron, also one of our guests, is not going to enlighten us with anything. Nothing about Smeagol, the Golem, nothing, right? No. Okay. All right, nothing. Well, also, as I promised you, what I would do is when I have an Optimus Prime, I will show it to you in various modes for the next show, when we have a show that works that way. And so, remember, this was Optimus Prime, Cybertron, Jetfire, and separated. This is Optimus Prime in his sort of his basic mode, and then this is Jetfire. All right, and this is, let's see, he has a little gun that fires a missile, and then he has these guns here, and then this can come out. Zoom this in, watch this. And then this has a little plug, and it can attach back here. There you go. And so he has hip weapons, and he can close his hand, open and close it. And he has the matrix of leadership here, and then that can close and be protected. He has these ear fins here, and he even can move his mouth. And guess what? Do you have any idea what he might say?
I want you to make a special run to Autobot City.
Of course. He's going to always say something like that. And Jetfire over here, his friend, he has like jets, and he has a key that plugs in. It's a Cybertron key, and then this snaps in, and then you put the key in, push that in, and then that pops open, and it makes a little bit of a noise. I think the batteries are low, so I'm going to have to see if maybe Nimzod can fix that. It has little jet fingers here, little gun fingers, and it just keeps going and going. All right, well, I guess once you push that button, he just keeps making noise. All right, well, anyhow, so, you know, his arms move around. He also can, his chest will close like that. And these actually can flip out. And then, you know, these are missiles. Remember, these were on Optimus Prime's feet. So these things unsnap and attach to Optimus, and then this whole frame snaps on top of him. And then this whole head folds in. And then so that, you know, becomes all, you know, another way to weaponize Optimus Prime and give him the ability to fly. Although, seeing how he flies in some of the movies, not so well. Not really impressed. So, what I have a friend who wanted me to do a wrestling show. So, the thing about some of my toy categories is I have so much that it's how to tackle it in a clever way. I don't want to just show you a bunch of toys with the camera and go, look, here it is, you know, and that to me makes it a lot less interesting. But I have something very interesting here. These are from 2003. Oh, by the way, the RC car is from 2004, so it's 18 years old, so a lot older than I thought. Now, these characters here are wrestlers, and they're in a bag for a reason, okay? These are the 2003 WWE Unlimited Series. Now, there are other figures that I did not get, but they are going to be very rare, and here's why. When I bought these, after about a couple months, they started to disintegrate. The silicone on them disintegrated, and they started to really just rip. And I called the company, Jack's Pacific, and I said, hey, do you warranty these things? I mean, it's only been a couple months. And they said no. So I brought them back to Toys R Us, and I got new ones. And I was speaking to a scientist friend of mine, and he had said, silicone dries out, so you need to keep them wrapped in a bag. So these things have been in a bag since 2003, 2004. Their legs are hard plastic. This is RVD, the wrestler RVD, Rob Van Dam. But the body on them, take a look at this, is silicone, and inside they have an endoskeleton. Okay, an exoskeleton is a skeleton that is on the outside, like we had with the Stretchoid Warriors, which were squishy, and then you encapsulated them in this hard exoskeleton so that they could move. Well, this has an endoskeleton. It actually has like a spine, and it has shoulders and elbows, and their natural limitations are just like real people, and they're squishy. Now, this one, actually, I'm not getting the shoulder action that I'm expecting, but the head, you can see, moves, and the waist can bend, and they stay. And I think, you know, this was the Unlimited Series 3. I'm guessing that WWE was very excited about these and was hoping that they would be able to produce maybe all of their action figures like this. But maybe they also realized there's a problem with the material and they just won't last. So I have a Brock Lesnar. He's actually in this weekend's WrestleMania. And he's going to go up against Roman Reigns, which, remember, we had the crunch and bend Roman Reigns figure with the stretchy arms. So this is Brock Lesnar. And yeah, his shoulders work. You know, sometimes toys, they just fail, you know, over time. But he really can move, and you can bend them, and they can actually look like they're flexing their muscles. you know, because the silicone will actually bend. So I think this is a tremendous concept. If only it had worked, you know. So that's Brock Lesnar. And then we have Booker T, who, as he would say, was the five-time WCW champion. And you'd think he's had his hands in the symbol 5 because he was doing that while he would do the spinneroonie move, which was he would spin around on his back, and then he would kind of kneel like a superhero and hold his hand up like that, and he would tell you that he was the 5-time WCW champion. And so that's Booker T. And actually, what's fascinating is the musculature is actually different. Take a look. So you could see Brock Lesnar is a more muscular wrestler, and they actually made his torso more muscular. So that's great. Even the arms, I think, are a little bit different in size. So I love it when they do subtle differences. You know, like when they really get the proportions right and they just care to make the wrestler emulate what the wrestler is really like. And I think that's something that WWE has been working on. Well, I know they have for years, trying to perfect that. And they used to have figures where they just had a few basic bodies, and depending on the wrestler's general body type, you get this body. But it wasn't really accurate. And now they do a lot of like computer scanning of their face and their body and try to get it very accurate. What to me is impressive is a lot of figures that do not have computer scanning and just have an artist actually, you know, make the mold for their face. Sometimes I think looks more realistic than the computer scan. And here's The Rock. And if you'll notice, The Rock has the same body as Booker T. So, you know, and The Rock is, at that time, was not as muscular as he is now, actually. More years of pounding and hitting the weights, you know, clanging and banging those weights, definitely, you know, even though as you get older, sometimes people say, well, you can't achieve the same results. But if you're intelligent about how you lift weights, actually, sometimes you know, can get even better results. It's just the time put in to the lifting. And then we have, finally, Hulk Hogan. And I think he's a really good-looking figure. I mean, the face looks just like Hulk Hogan. And then he has the Brock Lesnar body. See that? And you can see they even, you know, Hogan was always tanning, so he's quite tan. So those are, like I said, the WWE Unlimited 3 series, and they will go back into the bag so that they can last another, you know, 19 years, right? I mean, just amazing how long they have been there. All right, so, and we're back. And before I go, I wanted to tell you about this picture over here. This one over here of Stan Lee, and
Hello, Geo.
what? What's that?
We come from the space cube, doppelganger.
Oh.
We have come to assimilate you, your guests, and your show. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile.
Well, you know, this is highly irregular. I mean, I'm in the middle of a show, and the two of you come from doppelganglion, and you show up here to assimilate my show. Well, I'm, you know, as I've had to tell Conan and Galactus, this is a safe space, not outer space, and you're interrupting me. You know, it's kind of rude, you know.
We serve the doppelganglion.
Okay.
Oh, look. Here's she comes right now.
Oh!
She may not be so kind as us.
Oh, well, all right. She's going to be even less kind than you, interrupting my show, threatening to assimilate me and my guests. All right. Doppelganglion Queen, what do you have to say for yourself?
We serve the Doppelganglion.
Okay, yeah. I know you guys serve the Doppelganglion Queen, but the Queen, what is it that you have to say?
Hello, I am a queen, and as my prince has stated, blah blah blah, resistance is futile. Surrender your show to our will at once.
Well, I can tell you this, Doppelganglion Queen. We're not going to surrender the show, and I can tell you why not. Because we have a hope. Yeah, see? Time to smash. So I don't think that you won't want to mess with him. And if that wasn't enough, we have Iris over here. She'll calm you down with some yoga. Won't you, Iris? How about... Yeah, see? All right. See? Feel better? You're unique. In fact, you're very unique. I believe you're customized quite a bit. You can be anything. You don't have to just be the Doppelganglion Queen and assimilate everything in order to become unique, right?
But you have not heard the last of us and our echo effect.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you guys can then just skitter off back into your cube up there, and just don't worry about assimilating anything today. It's just not nice to assimilate, really. I think we can all get along. So getting back to this picture over here, this is a authentic signed Stan Lee picture of Stan Lee and zombie versions of his Marvel characters. So there you are. I just wanted to explain that. And thank you all for tuning into the show. Not always so smooth. You know, I mean, who expected, doppelganglions to show up here and assimilate us? But thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon with some very, very exciting and new things. This is GL1 signing out, and see you later.